everyone. I'm Dinah. I am launching today's live training, and I just wanted to see if you can see and hear me. If you can confirm that you can hear me in the chat window, that would be great, and that means we'll be able to go ahead and get started. Okay, thank you. Thank you for a few responses there. Awesome. Great. That's all I need. I know that there's a few people that might be trickling in as we continue with our session. So we'll, of course, welcome them in within the next few minutes. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for attending today's live training. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can create an infographic using Easley. Now, some of you may be very familiar with Easley and using it all the time. Some of you may have no idea what Easley is, and that's perfectly fine. We'll certainly walk you through all of the basics here. We did a crash course in Infographics a few weeks ago, and we had a few sessions, and so I know some of you may have attended that live training as well, and this is an excellent follow-up because we'll be going into greater detail as to how you can use all of the tools that are available in Easley to create an infographic. Just out of curiosity, how many of you attending today may have attended the crash course a few weeks ago, or maybe watched the replay or recording? And if you did, you know, feel free to go ahead and submit your response in the chat window. But I know that a lot of you may just be tuning in for the very first time, or joining us for the very first time in one of our training courses. Okay, good. Well, that's perfectly fine. So let's go over some housekeeping items before we really dive into all of the nitty-gritty of using Easley and creating an infographic. I see we have people from all over, so I appreciate you joining us, and we'll go ahead and get started. So before we launch into Easley, I do want to introduce you to one of my colleagues. Her name is Latasha, and she's in the chat window, and she is going to be moderating the chat window for us. And so if you have any questions or comments, she will be checking in and responding as she can, of course. And I'll do my best to address some of the questions along the way, but I know we have so many people, so the chat window might be your best bet in terms of getting a response, at least from Latasha. Another great place for you to submit your questions is in the Q&A section, which is located just right below this video window, and it is a great place for you to go ahead and submit any questions that you may have for us today. I want to thank people who have already submitted your questions, and we'll be sure to address those either throughout or maybe at the very end. We, of course, absolutely want to cover all of the basics of getting started, and then address any more specific questions for those of you attending here today. Okay, now next to the questions and answers, you'll see that there is a link to polls. And if you click on that button, you'll see that there are 2 poll questions, and it gives me a really good understanding as to who's here with us today. So if you could take just a few seconds to locate that poll, and if you can go ahead and let me know who you are and where you're coming in from, that would be helpful. If you're a professional, or if you're a small business owner or entrepreneur, that's good to know. If you're a teacher, educator, or maybe you're in the higher ed space, that would be helpful. If you fall into that other category and you'd like to tell us a little bit more about yourself, feel free to go ahead and do that in the comments section. Also, it's helpful if we get a better understanding as to how familiar you are with Easley. So if you could also answer that question, that would be great. Sometimes you get people who have used Easley quite a bit, and if you are an expert user with Easley, then feel free to submit any of your own tips and suggestions as to what's working for you and what you appreciate or like about Easley and how you're using it yourself. But based off of the responses, it does look like we have quite a few people that have never used it before, and some people that have used it a little but would like to use it a little bit more. And so hopefully with this live training that we have here today, you'll have enough background information and enough tips to really get you started and quickly on your way to creating infographics for whatever purpose that might be. Okay, great. And we have a few responses. Jennifer, thank you so much for responding. It looks like you're a trainer and public health professional, so that's good to know, just a little bit more information in more detail as to who you are. Greta, you're a secondary science teacher. Awesome, thanks for sharing. Jonathan, we have a 7th grade student. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate your interest in wanting to learn a little bit more. Susan, library media specialist. Awesome, thank you for joining. Susan, a technology teacher. Great, thank you for all the responses. I really appreciate it. Okay, great. Well, how about we go ahead and launch into our content. By now, I think that we've had some of the people kind of trickle in, and I think this is what we're looking at for our session today. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to start sharing my browser window, and I am just going to go ahead and close out my video screen so you really can see the most of my screen, and we'll go ahead and launch into our content. Just bear with me 1 second here so that I can go ahead and make a few adjustments here. Okay. All right, so for those of you who are completely new to Easley and know nothing about it, let me just give you some background information. So Easley is an infographic design tool that is going to allow you to communicate your ideas, concepts, topics in a visual way. And it's a great way to represent any information, knowledge, data that you have that you want to present in very quickly, clearly, and you are probably interested in being able to educate, inform, and maybe even attract an audience. And so if you have absolutely no design experience, that is perfectly fine. Easley will allow you to get started very easily and allow you to create wonderful visuals that you can go ahead and incorporate in a variety of different ways, whether it is for a presentation, or you're looking to push it out through social media, or you're looking to add it to a blog post, or you're looking to use it as a project or an assignment with your students. There's so many different ways that you can incorporate visuals. And really, when you think about visuals, and I have a really good eye for this these days, is that, you know, I am always seeing visuals in a variety of things that I see every single day. So even when I'm opening up my mail, I might get a newsletter from a company that might have some information about their successes and their impact that they've done. Or, you know, maybe I might get an email from a retailer that might have some infographic information or steps on how to use their product. So really keep your eye out for that, because it's really a great way to get ideas and inspiration. But with Easley, it is a great tool that will allow you to go ahead and use existing templates that are professionally done, or you could even start from scratch with a blank canvas and design an infographic all on your own. Our design tool is very easy to use because we will provide you with a variety of different objects and images that you can simply just drag and drop and modify using our design tools. And once you've gone ahead and completed your infographic, you'll have the opportunity to save it and download it as an image, and you can go ahead and share your images through social media or as a link. For educators and teachers, if you're using it in the classroom, we will also allow you to just simply present it from Easley itself. And so with that, let me go ahead and just give you a quick browse or demo of how to use Easley here. So this is the Easley homepage, and you'll see that you can go ahead and start to explore existing visuals that have already been created without even having to register. But if you haven't registered already, it is completely free to do so, and you can start to use all of the tools at the most basic level absolutely free. And I'm going to go ahead and log in because I already have a login. And for our purposes and demonstrations here today, I do want to let you know that I will be using the Pro version, which is a paid version of Easley that does provide you with way more objects and images, stock photos and templates that you can use. But if you are at the basic level or basic version of Easley, you may not see everything that I am showing you here today. So I just want you to keep that in mind as we move along here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in here. And I am going to walk you through a few things here. So you'll see that when you log into your account, at the very top, you'll see a library of all of the visuals that you've created and that you can easily access. And so it's a nice image carousel. And what I do here with my library of visuals is, of course, I have all of the visuals that I've created using Easley. But I also like to suggest that if you ever stumble across an infographic template as you are exploring our content, and you don't want to forget it because you maybe want to use it in the future, I highly suggest that you just simply save it so you don't have to find it again, because we do have a lot of templates here, and so it'll save you a lot of time in having to find it once again. So anytime you see something that you like, go ahead and save it to your visuals or your library, and you'll be able to easily access it again in the future. Now, if you want to go ahead and explore existing templates that are available or other creations from our community, you can certainly go ahead and click on any of these from the gallery and explore those. And you can, of course, choose by category or do a search for a particular theme or topic. But just for starting from scratch, and if you wanted to have a blank template, it's the very first button here to start fresh. So you would want to go ahead and click on that, and you'll see here that you'll be provided with just a few basic steps as to how to get started. So you'll learn, about the objects as well as the text, and how to change the text. For example, you just need to double click on the text and you'll be able to go ahead and edit the text here. So this is just a great way to quickly learn all of the basic steps of getting started. But if you've already have figured out the basics and you're just ready to get started on a brand new infographic or your second or third infographic, what you'll want to do is click on this clear button at the very top in the black and white menu at the top, and click clear, and that will just clear everything. You can delete each item one by one, of course, but just going ahead and clearing it is a very quick and fast way to do that. For our purposes here today, I do want to showcase the templates that are available. So once you're in the actual Easley Designer, you'll see that there is a button here for templates. And from here, you'll be able to explore a variety of templates. Now, with the basic account, you'll see a handful of templates that are available to you. But when you have a Pro account, you'll see that you have a variety of additional templates that you can use to start off with. And so you'll see that there are templates for a resume, a timeline, a process. Maybe you're looking to compare two similar things or two different things against each other. Then we have comparison templates. We have a variety of food templates, social media type templates, health related templates. If you're looking to have more of a formal professional report type template, even real estate templates. Now, we actually had a question from someone who had registered for this session here today, and in the Q&A section, I believe it was Jeff who asked a question about a real estate template. Now, I'm not sure if Jeff is actually on the call already right now, or if he signed in and is looking to watch the replay. But I actually thought it might be a great idea to go ahead and maybe use that as an example, since it is a question that came up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on real estate, and you'll see here that when I click on real estate from the menu, I do have a variety of real estate type templates to choose from. Now, the question that Jeff had posed was, what's the best real estate template to use for real estate purposes? And, this question is really good for really anyone who's looking to create an infographic. Is while you may have an industry or an area that you're looking to focus in on, you're going to want to ask yourself what exactly you're looking to do with the infographic and what your goal is, and also think about how you can narrow down that topic, because there are so many different things that you can cover with real estate. So you can cover maybe something like the home loan process, and maybe you're looking to explain that to some of your potential clients or customers. So, that's something to keep in mind. Or maybe you're looking to provide some more information about just the home buying process in general, and the steps of, finding a real estate agent and, searching for a home, and then going through the closing process. So, that's something to keep in mind as well. So this is a good example of maybe a few steps that could be involved in the real estate process. So let's just go ahead and use one of these templates as an example for us here today. And when you find a template that you like, what you're going to want to do is just simply go ahead and grab the template and drag it onto your canvas. So let's go ahead and choose one here. I'm going to choose, let's see, choose this one as an example. And you'll see that this template will now load into our canvas. Now, the one thing that I'd like to point out is that our templates are a great way for you to also learn a little bit more about design and maybe get some design tips. And what's great is that you can go ahead and deconstruct some of the templates that are in here. So, and what I mean by that is, all of the objects within these templates are individual objects that can be cloned. You can delete them, you can resize them. So just as an example, this is a cloud item on our template. If you want to enlarge the cloud, you can do that. If you want to delete the cloud, you can do that as well. If you want to clone this object, you can certainly press the clone button from this gray and white menu, and you'll see that you can clone the objects. And so, there's a variety of things that you can do to customize all of the templates here. You can even change the color. Let's say you wanted to make this cloud white, then you can go ahead and do that. When you're using the templates, one thing to keep in mind is that you'll want to customize them as much as you can to really allow it to match up with your brand or maybe a campaign that you are working on, and really make it your own, and so that it's really custom to you. Another thing that I always like to do with our templates, just to learn some design tips, is just kind of see how things were built. So for example, these icons are just icons as they are by themselves. But as you can see, the designers were using, these circles to be able to just kind of provide some type of a frame for these icons and add a little bit more depth and layering to the infographic. So, something to just think about when you are using just some of these simple graphic icons and how you can make them kind of layered or stand out a little bit more in your infographic. Okay, so before we move on, the best thing to kind of take away from the templates is that you can go ahead and customize the content in these templates by deleting, enlarging, cloning, changing the color of some of the objects. And for the text example, just go ahead and click on the text and you'll be able to change the text very easily here. Okay. All right, so that's just an example here. Okay, so now the next question that Jeff had in our Q&A section was, where do you locate the objects for the infographics, such as something like the buildings? And so for this particular case, we'll go ahead and use that as an example. So next to the templates area, you'll see that there's an objects button. And you'll see that you can choose a category and browse objects by categories very easily, but you can also do a search. So I just like to show the categories because I just want to show the variety of the different objects that are available to you. And I think if you're going to explore the objects that are available, this is a really good way to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and do people, for example. And for people, you'll see that there are 39 pages of a variety of different people icons that you can use to go ahead and really customize your infographic. So depending on the style of your infographic and what you're looking to use, you'll of course want to choose accordingly, but you'll see that there are a different variety of different styles that you could use for your infographic here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to maybe pull this one down onto our infographic. And of course, you'll want to, of course, make some adjustments to this, but I just want to show you how easy it is to just locate an object and drag it and drop it into your infographic. And you'll see that all of the images can be enlarged very easily, depending on the size that you're looking to showcase on your infographic. Now, this is really a big time saver because graphic artists, of course, will create all of these icons and graphic images themselves using, of course, their own tools, and that can take a lot of time. And if you have no design background or any experience with that, all you need to do is just find the objects and then, of course, grab them and put them into the infographic and place them and design it yourself. So a big, big time saver there. Okay, so let's say you are looking for like something like a building or a house. If you know specifically what you're looking for, then I highly recommend using the search. The categories are great if you're just looking to browse and see what's available. But if you are looking to, find some images of a house, then you can do a search for a house and you can see all of the different house types that are available, and you can go ahead and just drop it into your canvas, and you'll see that I can now add this and of course enlarge or shrink down as needed. And there are so many different types of styles that could be available to you. So explore, play around with it a little bit and kind of see what works best for you. One thing that I do want to point out is that some objects, and depending on the object, of course, you may be able to change the color in some cases. So let me see if I can find a good example of this here. Let's see. Okay, so here's an object, and you'll want to know that some of our images come from a variety of different sources, and so depending on the image, you may be able to change the color. And a good thing to think about is if it's a one solid color image, it's very likely that you'll be able to change the color of it. And this is where you can really add some customization to your infographic. So here I've gone ahead and I've changed this house to red instead of a plain black. So you have a lot of options there. Okay, so let's keep moving along here. I'm going to just check in with the group, see how everyone is kind of following along, and then I'll keep moving along. So in the chat window, I don't see really any questions, but I do want to just pause and see if there are any questions based off of any of the instructions that I've provided so far. Okay, it doesn't look like there are any questions. Okay. One question that's coming up from Bonnie, can you start with a blank sheet and make your own template? Yeah, absolutely. So from the example that I had provided earlier, when you are in the design tool, there is this clear button at the very top. And if you click on clear, you'll be able to go ahead and clear the canvas. And I'm not going to wipe this out quite just yet because I'm still in the middle of it, but you'll be able to clear that out, and you'll be able to create your template from scratch. And what's nice about that is if you are going to go ahead and take the time to create that template, maybe it's one that you'll want to use and just kind of change out the information and content as things change for you, then that's perfectly fine. Okay, let me see if there are any other questions. Okay, am I able, so Richard is asking if you can change any of the objects by drawing. So we do have some basic drawing tools, of course. So depending on the level of how you're looking to customize it, you may be able to do that. We do have some simple drawing tools that allow you to add lines and arrows and steps and waves. So depending, of course, on the level of customization for some of them, you might be able to make some of those changes. I should also mention that you do have the ability with Easley to upload images. And so if you are not finding what you need in Easley, or let's say you have something custom like a logo or your school's logo, or you want to upload an image of your school's mascot, maybe you have your own personal photo files that you want to upload, you have your own stock images, whatever that might be, just click on the upload button and click on add files, and you'll be able to go ahead and upload those easily. You'll want to make sure that the items that you are uploading are, sized to what you want, because there is not a cropping feature in here. So you'll want to, of course, crop those out in advance. So, okay. Okay, good. Okay, great. I'm glad I answered some of those questions. Okay, well, thank you. So glad that we were able to answer some of those. Okay. So let me go ahead and keep moving along. So we covered the objects and we covered the templates. Let's go ahead and move on to media. So I really always like to cover this piece because this is always an eye-opener for a lot of people, is that you can go ahead and actually incorporate stock photos that we already have in our library. Now, if you are using the Easley basic account, you'll have some photos available to you, but you really will get a full library of stock photos when you go pro. And so if you wanted to just go ahead and do a search, let's say, and now I'm kind of starting to get off topic of real estate here, but I just want to show just some stock photos. You'll see that you can go ahead and start to incorporate that. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one as an example, and you'll see that those images are just then dropped into your canvas. And with the images, when you click on your object, of course, you move over to this gray and white banner, and you'll see that you can position this if you want to make it your background, if you want to change the opacity of the image so that you can see content underneath, you can certainly go ahead and do that. If you wanted to go ahead and hyperlink the image, then you can do that as well. So stock photos are a great way to be able to also incorporate that into your infographic if you're looking to do that. Okay, now what's great about the stock photos that are in here is that if you're familiar with, just searching for stock photos in general, or just trying to buy a stock photo, the cost of stock photos can add up, and with the price of Easley Pro, it's really quite affordable to just kind of have a library of stock photos available at your fingertips that you could just go ahead and incorporate, which without you having to worry about having to pay for them and having to get rights to the image if you're just searching for free images online, because all of the stock photos are, you can use them royalty free for any of your purposes, and your pro account will cover the cost of being able to use that for for all of your purposes. Okay, so now moving along to the YouTube is that you can also paste a YouTube video into your infographic. And this is great because some people are using infographics to share online or maybe through a website. And if you wanted to direct people to more content, maybe your YouTube channel, or if you're an educator or a teacher and you want to direct your students to a video on YouTube that goes along with all of the content and information that you're sharing in an infographic, then you can go ahead and drop the YouTube URL and it will be made available in the infographic. So the one thing that I just want to point out is before you add any YouTube videos to your infographic is you're going to want to think about how you plan on sharing your infographic. So if you are planning to share your infographic in maybe a static image or a PDF file, then adding a YouTube video is not a good idea because it's not going to show up. Static images and a PDF document will not play a YouTube video or anything online. But if you are going to be adding your infographic and you're going to be, let's say, embedding the infographic onto your website or your blog, or maybe you have a learning management system where you can embed content, then you can absolutely add the YouTube video in there and people will be able to watch the video right from that location on the web, on your learning management system, on your blog, on your web page. If you're sharing a link to your infographic where someone will be accessing it online, that's another place where that YouTube video will work. So, you know, if you have more questions about that, you know, certainly reach out to us, but I just wanted to point out that that's certainly a possibility. If you wanted to, let's say, not necessarily put a link or an actual YouTube video embedded within your infographic, and let's say you just wanted to link out to a YouTube video outside of your infographic, or let's just say link out to your website or link out to more information on a topic, I do want to point out that text and images within the infographic can all be hyperlinked. And I explained this earlier with the stock photo, but for example, if I wanted to go ahead and click on you know, this object here within the hyperlink, or within the infographic, you'll see that there's this hyperlink button, and all you need to do is click on that and you'll be able to add links to any of the objects within the infographic. Let's say if we did the text, you can go to the text and you can click on the hyperlink button and you can hyperlink the text as well. And so if you wanted to go ahead and do that, one thing that I will suggest is that you may want to just put a note like click here, or you know, let your reader know that it is something that they can engage with and click on to get some more information. So if you plan on doing that, I highly recommend putting some type of indication on that in your infographic. Okay, so let's see a few other things before we move on to some other items. You know, let's go ahead and move on to a few other things that you can do to maybe customize your infographic. So you can change the color of your backgrounds on your infographic. So again, another piece, you know, if you're starting from scratch, you can certainly go ahead and change the color of the background right from the get-go. But if you are working with a template and if that background can be changed, then you can go ahead and use a pattern from a variety of different backgrounds that are available, but you can also go ahead and change the color. And when you're changing the color of a background, or if you're changing the color of a text or changing the color of an object, I do want to point out that you can access more colors than just what you see here on the grid. A lot of times people think that we have a limited amount of colors, and really it's just that we have a few of the most common colors available here. But if you have a specific color code, or you have specific colors that you're using in your branding for your website, for your company, for your school, or if you're trying to match something up with something else out on the web, then you certainly can go ahead and put those color codes in there, apply it, and then you'll be able to customize that very easily. Okay, so that's backgrounds. Now, we talked a little bit about drawing. These are just some simple drawing tools that you can use, of course, to go ahead and draw on your infographic. Let's say if you're looking to build out some steps of some sort, then you can certainly go ahead and do that. Now, I know I'm just kind of adding a lot of random stuff, but I'm hoping that this is all showing you all the different things that you can do. And if you wanted to add some basic shapes, you'll see that there are some basic shapes that are available here that you can add to your infographic, and all of those you can customize the colors once you drop them into your editor. We talked a little bit about the text in existing infographics, but you will be able to go ahead and add text whenever you need to for that. So you can certainly go ahead and do that and add bullet points if you wanted to add bullet points to it. You can add charts, and I know I'm going through this a little quickly. I'm just seeing them that I'm running out of time, but I'm hoping that I'm at least pointing these out to you. With the charts tool, this is a great way to be able to insert any data that you're looking to share. So depending on how you're looking to display that, you'll see that there are different ways that you can do this. I'm going to go ahead and just do a standard pie chart here. But you'll see that once you drag that chart into your infographic, you can go ahead and enlarge or shrink down that graph as you need. But the really cool thing about this is that you can customize it with your information and change the colors of it. So of course we're using some basic colors here, you know, when we drop it down into your infographic. But from here, this is where when you double click on that, you can import your data. So you click on this button, you'll be able to import from an Excel spreadsheet, a Google Sheet, CSV file very easily. And then you'll also be able to change the colors. So again, you'll see your color grid. And then of course, if you have something very specific, you can go ahead and apply the specific colors that you're looking to use and apply, and change the colors for all of the segments. Right now, they're currently labeled as just simple red, green, yellow, but of course, this is where you can go ahead and enter your label for the segments. So let's say we're doing something for social media and I'm trying to share some stats on that. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and just put Facebook here. And so you'll see that now I'm customizing that label and changing that out. And then of course, absolutely, you can change those values. Instead of importing, you can just enter those values in right here. You can add rows, you can remove rows, you can show the legend on your infographic if you'd like. You can change the font size if you are going to go ahead and display those labels. And you know, if we have, you know, the $sign, percentages. So if you're looking to go ahead and really customize it, you'll see a variety of different ways to customize that. So that is your grid. Once you've made all of your adjustments, you'll see that it's all adjusted here on your chart. Of course, there are objects. If you wanted to just look for a simple image of a pie chart, you can search through the objects, but just keep in mind that those are going to be just static images, whereas if you use the charts button, this is really where you can go ahead and customize the specific data that you're looking to add to your infographic, okay? Okay, good. All right, so those are all of the specific tools that I really wanted to cover to help you design your infographic. Before I go ahead and start to talk about how you can download and share some of this information, are there any questions that I can address based off of customizing the infographic and using the design editor? And let me see, I think Latasha's been on top of quite a few questions here. Okay. I think Kamal's asking if there's going to be a recording available. Yes, we are going to be, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to access the replay immediately here on Crowdcast. But we do plan on uploading the video to YouTube as well, so you'll be able to capture it there, and we will be sending out an email to everyone who registered, notifying them of that posting, and we'll put that on our blog as well. Okay, 'Okay, let's see. Anything else? Okay, 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 let Okay, good, good. Okay, well, I think that Latasha has had covered a lot of the questions already, so I'll keep moving along here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about saving your images, of course. So let's go back up to this black and white banner here, the same location where you can go ahead and just clear your image. If you're going to be saving your infographic, click on this save button here, and you're going to want to name your visual. Our system will periodically save your infographic to your visuals library or gallery, but it's only done periodically. So if you're switching back and forth, I highly recommend that you save your infographic after you've done quite a few changes, just to ensure that your most recent changes have been saved. So for myself, whenever I'm creating anything in Easley, I go ahead and I save every few minutes or so, just to make sure that my most recent changes are saved. And anything that you save, of course, or that gets saved will be placed into that My Visuals image gallery that I showed you at the very beginning of this webinar, and you'll be able to access it from there. Okay, and so that is what you can do with that. I also want to point out how you can download any of the infographics that you create and as images. So with the basic account, you'll be able to go ahead and download a low quality image, which is essentially just a JPEG image. And the JPEG is great for, adding images to, let's say, an email, or if you're looking to upload it to your web page. The file sizes are small, and so it really helps in terms of the file sizes for your emails if you're sending those out to customers, or in terms of those images loading on your website or your blog. JPEG really is an ideal version. Now, if you're looking to download a high quality version of your image, that will download to a PNG image file. And high qualities are really great if you're looking to do some marketing materials that you're looking to maybe print up. You really want to have something that's a little higher quality and for that image. Now, just keep in mind that the high quality availability is available with the Pro version. So if you are looking to do more of the high quality saving, then you will want to go ahead and upgrade to Pro. You also have the ability to download a PDF, and again, that is also comes along with the Pro version, but PDFs are great if you're just looking to attach it to an email, or you're looking to just save a copy of it to reference. Or if you're looking to print up something that's of a certain size, PDFs are great for that. So something to keep in mind. Okay, in terms of sharing, there are a variety of different ways that you can go ahead and share your infographics. So you can share by email and send a link to your infographic to someone. And another thing that I'd like to point out that we didn't necessarily talk about is, let's say if you're working on a group project, whether you are working on a group project with other students, or you're having your students work on a group project, or let's say your team at work or your department is working on an infographic together and you're all looking to collaborate on it, you can go ahead and invite a friend to edit. And by doing so, you're just going to send them an email, but you're allowing them to go ahead and make changes. Now, you can have up to 30 people at a time in the infographic, in the same exact infographic at the same time, making changes. Of course, that can get a little hectic with so many people, but I just want to show you that you really can have quite a few hands on the same infographic making changes in real time. All you need to do is enter the email address of who you want to invite to edit, and they'll be able to go ahead and edit the infographic. Keep in mind that if you want the person that you're sharing your infographic with, if you're looking for them to edit, then if they want all of the tools that are available with Easley, they will also need to have that Pro account. They can make changes in the basic version, but they're not going to have maybe all the tools that you might have if you do have the pro version. So, just go ahead and keep that in mind when you're working with others and collaborating. So while they'll still be able to edit even with the basic, they just may not have all the tools that you might have if you have the pro account. Okay. Okay, so a few other ways, we talked about sharing your infographic in a browser. So this is going to provide you with a link to your infographic. So you'll be able to go ahead and share a link, and people will be able to view the infographic online. Great way to share an infographic through social media, for example. And then also we give you the ability to embed code. So if you need the code for your infographic, we'll provide that to you. All you do is copy and paste it. You'll be able to embed your infographic into your blog or your website, or if you have a learning management system where you can go ahead and embed code, then you can go ahead and do that. I'm not going to talk a lot about the group sharing option, but the group sharing option is a great way if you just want to be able to manage the work of a group of individuals. This is really popular with our educators when teachers have maybe a classroom full of students and they want to monitor the work that their students are doing. And it's also all that content is kept private. And I know especially when students are working on projects, teachers really want to make sure that all of their content is kept private even amongst their peers. And so this is a great way to do that. If you want some more information about that, we have some tutorials on our YouTube channel that you can watch to learn a little bit more about how that works. And we have some blog posts as well. And you can always reach out to us if you want some more information on that. Okay, so with that, I think we have about maybe 10 minutes, and I am going to, at this point, just kind of provide you with some closing items here. So what I'm going to do is I want to provide you with ways to learn a little bit more about Easley and give you some additional resources to help you out along the way. We really want to make sure that you're successful and are able to go ahead and create infographics and just really communicate visually. And one thing that I always like to maybe suggest to some people is that we talk a lot about the standard infographics that people think about that has a lot of information and a lot of data. But if you're just getting started, it might be just a good way for you to maybe kind of create small little infographics that you can embed, let's say, in a large article or within a topic. So don't think that you always have to create this large infographic with a lot of information. Maybe just take a section of some text that you're sharing, whether it's copy for marketing or if it's an article that you're sharing with your students. How can you maybe visualize just a little concept or section within that and create some type of visual for that? So once you kind of get a hang of that, then you can start to get larger and larger and really create, one of those larger infographics. So here is our Crash Course in Infographics ebook. We do a webinar that kind of talks you through this ebook, but this really has all the details that might help you in creating infographics along the way. We will provide a link to this in our email. It's already available on our website, so you can easily access it from our website, and we'll also post it to our blog, but I at least wanted to make you aware of it. It's absolutely free, so we hope that it helps you out. For the educators on the call here today, we have infographics for your classroom. So if you're looking to learn a little bit more about how you can incorporate infographics in the classroom, then this is a great resource to get started. We also have a few blog posts on our website on how teachers are using infographics. So a great way to learn from your peers and see what they're already doing and what's working for them. I also want to point out our YouTube channel, which I've referenced a few times, of course, here throughout our training session. Feel free to explore our channel, and you'll see that we have all of our webinars recorded here. So if you wanted to, catch our Crash Course in Infographics, which we did a few weeks ago, you can find those recordings there, along with some other guest speakers that we've worked with, and just short tutorials, and as well as some videos that are based off of our blog posts. So many different ways to learn more about infographics. And so with that, I know we've shared a lot of content here. I'm going to go ahead and go to our question and answers and see if anything else has been posted along the way that we can go ahead and answer here. So I know the one that we already addressed was Jeff's question about what is the easiest way to create a real estate related infographic, best template to start with. So I hope that we answered that throughout this session here today. So we're going to go ahead and maybe address some of the other questions here. So what is the easiest way to share an infographic in the body of an email? And what file type should an infographic be saved in so that it can be edited for other uses in the future? So let's kind of take this break up this question a little bit. So when you're sharing an infographic in the body of an email, one thing that you'll want to consider is that, of course, it's saved as an image. And many email clients will allow you to just go ahead and upload those images into your email. The one thing that you'll want to keep in mind is that you probably do not want to only include an image in your email. So if your messaging is within the infographic, you'll definitely want to provide that text in that email, because it may get stuck in spam if it's just an image only. If there's no text or no actual characters, it will get flagged as spam. So you want to make sure that it actually gets to your audience, and so you want to absolutely make sure that included with that image that you have some text so that it doesn't get stuck in filters. In terms of the file type, just because people get really annoyed with large emails that you might get, and images within emails tend to be larger files, they'll definitely want to save as a low quality image, which is simply just a JPEG image, and so it won't take up as much space for your receiver. And then the other part of that question is, how can you save the infographic so you can edit it in the future? So let's say you have a template and you have metrics, and let's say you're updating it quarterly and you're updating it with new metrics, but you want to keep the same template. So when you're back in Easley, what you're going to want to do is, let's see if I can actually showcase this here and you can see it. Within your visuals, you can go ahead and copy any of your visuals. So it's already saved. So one of the easiest ways is simply just making a copy of it, and you can duplicate the infographic, and you can start from scratch. So you'll have your older infographic, but now you'll have a copy of that, and then you can go ahead and update the numbers or figures if you're, let's say, updating it quarterly for whatever reason. When you go into the actual infographic yourself, one other thing that you may want to do, but I think that's really is the easiest thing to do, is just make a copy of an existing infographic. Is in some cases, some people may have really sensitive information that they have in their infographic, and while the information is certainly safe in our servers, it's just people want to take that extra precautionary step, and what they'll do is they'll export their work from Easley. And so when you export your work from Easley, it will be a very specific file that can only be used within Easley, so that when you come back into Easley, you can go ahead and import your previous work. So, but you don't need to do the download and import if you're perfectly fine with just going into your library, making a copy of an existing infographic, and then updating the numbers from there. So I hope that that answers your question with that. Okay. Okay, let's move on to another question here from Greta. Does anyone have any experience using Easley with students, middle and high school, and any tips? And so, gosh, there are just so many different ways that you can use Easley with your students. Really the possibilities are endless, and you can use it for any subject area, really for any type of assignment. We have a few teacher chats that we've done, and you can check those out on YouTube, but if you go to our blog as well, they're also posted there along with some slides that have some notes right from the teacher. And they have provided just examples of how they've used Easley. We did recently do a teacher chat with Jim Bentley. He is a middle school teacher, and that might be a really good resource for you to check out. So definitely check that out, and I hope that you find that helpful. Okay, Sarah is asking if the infographics are private, and because if there were photos of students, you would like to be able to control that usage. Absolutely. So, if you go ahead and use our groups section, and you can learn a little bit more about using our groups, you can go ahead and manage that as an educator and as a teacher. And you can, because I know with students, they may not take the time to make some of their content private, if you think that's important, of course, depending on whatever the project is or what they're using it for. So as an educator and teacher, you can use the group section to be able to go ahead and make those updates. Okay, there's a few more questions here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and come back to these, but I know that people might have questions on pricing, and I'm realizing that we needed to cover that. So I'm going to go ahead and address that right now. And for those of you that are starting to hop off, and so I wanted to just quickly go over that. So the basic Easley account, of course, is always free. So if it's working for you, that's awesome, and we're really happy that you're using Easley. But if you're looking to update or upgrade your account with us, there's a few different possibilities here, but in general, pricing for Easley Pro is $36 a year per user. That's for a business or just an individual looking to use Easley. So $36 a year, that's only $3 a month. And of course, it covers all of those graphic images and icons, stock photos. So when you think about the cost of just one photo or the time it might take to create a graphic image, or the time that it might take for a student to browse images online and see if they have the rights to use them, this cost really is incredibly affordable. And so for $36 a year per user, you get access to all of that. For nonprofits and teachers, I do want to point out that we do offer a discount pricing at 50% off. All you need to do is just contact us directly for your discount so that you can go ahead and apply for that. So you can email me at Dinah@Easley. We also send a follow-up email, so feel free to just reply back to that and ask about it or inquire about it, and we can give you some more information about that. And you can also just contact our support team as well. So just, reach out to anyone really, essentially, and we'll be able to get you some more information about that discount. Okay, and then for teachers who are looking to use the pro version with their class, let's say you want them to have access to all those images as well. If you're a teacher, if you just pay the full price of $36 a year, we will go ahead and also grant you access to 30 pro accounts for your students so that your students have access to that pro version. So if you're just a teacher just looking to use it for yourself, you can do that discount for 50% off. But if you are looking to go ahead and extend that pro account to your students, we'll give you those 30 pro accounts for your students at $36 a year. So we hope that that helps you out and that encourages, educators and nonprofits who might be on tighter budgets to be able to use Easley to its full extent and have access to the power of the pro account. So if you have any questions, reach out to us. We're happy to go ahead and address that. Okay. Okay, so Callum, thank you so much. Yeah, the pro account really is such an affordable price. And if you really kind of compare it to, again, just the simple cost of just like what an image might cost online or the time-saving value of being able to access all of the images and icons and graphics, it really is such a great value. Okay, so with that, I know I'm just a minute over my time here. So for those of you that do need to start hopping off, you have your next meeting, your next class, thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and stick around here to address some of the other questions that popped up in the Q&A section, because I do want to make sure that we get those addressed. But contact us at any time, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, shoot us an email. If you have technical support needs, then reach out to us at support@Easley. If you want to talk to me about this webinar, future webinars, ideas, I'd love to hear from you. So email me at Dinah@Easley. So for those of you hopping off already, thank you so much. Good luck with Easley, and I hope that this has been a time saver for you, and you'll be able to create some amazing infographics. Okay, so as some of you are dropping off, I'm going to go back to the Q&As to go ahead and start addressing some of the remaining questions. Okay. So there's a question, is there a way to save your search results? Unfortunately, there isn't a way to save search results. And I'm thinking that you're talking about maybe the icons and the objects. No, there's no way to do a save for that, unfortunately, although that's a really good idea. So, we'll go ahead and submit that, of course, into our feedback files. Okay, can you import your own graphics? And I think we addressed this in the webinar already, but I do want to just go ahead and address this directly. Yes, you could absolutely import your own graphics, whether it's your own icons, your own graphic images, if it's a photo that you have, or if you have an image that you have the rights to and you want to go ahead and upload it, you can absolutely upload those graphics. If you have a logo that you'd like to add, then you can upload that as well. Okay, the next question is there a way to cut and paste data from Excel into the charts and the graphs? So you can upload the data when you are creating a custom chart or graph. You can use either Excel or Google Sheets, of course, but the other way to be able to customize that is simply by going ahead and just changing the values. So if you only have maybe a few line items, then you might as well just go ahead and type that in by changing the files individually. So I hope that answers your question there. Okay. All right. Well, I think those are all of the questions. I want to thank Latasha for helping me out in the chat window. Thank you so much, Latasha. And I think we're going to go ahead and close out this webinar session. So thank you again, and stay tuned for future webinars. And if you'd like to go ahead and share this with others who you think would find this valuable, feel free to do so. We would really, really appreciate it. So thanks, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.